keep telling myself not to worry about that girl. Unexplained disappearances are not unusual for her.
Still, it's been almost 24 hours, Mrs. Saxon.
If she would only call. I'm afraid we're going to have to set some sort of deadline, and then if we don't hear from her by then...
Should we involve the police?
As much as I hate the idea, yes.
Looks like we won't have to call, Mrs. Saxon. The police are already here.
What?
Excuse me.
Morning, Spencer. Mrs. Saxon at home?
Yes. Here I am, Calvin. What is it? Something about Raven?
Yes, it is. But she's okay, really. She's fine. I came to tell you in case you were worried.
Worried? Well, of course I'm worried. She left this house last evening, and I haven't heard from her since.
Have you seen Mrs. Whitney?
Yes, as a matter of fact, only a few moments ago, it was an accidental encounter.
Where?
At a building downtown. She mentioned that you may have reason to be concerned about her whereabouts.
Very kind of her to think of me at all.
Well, she told me she hadn't had a chance to call, so I volunteered to come by and let you know that she was okay.
That was very thoughtful of you, Detective.
Yes, I appreciate it deeply, Spencer. I still don't understand it. What could be keeping Mrs. Whitney so busy she can't even take time out to make a phone call?
Mr. Halliday, would you please tell the court what happened after Miss Avery called you on the house phone?
Well, I couldn't stop Jinx from coming upstairs.
Yeah.
But worse yet, I couldn't convince Raven to leave. Well, suddenly Raven remembered the gun I keep in my apartment for protection.
Mrs. Whitney knew of the gun.
Yes, Your Honor, I told her about it. It was probably the dumbest thing I'd ever done.
Then the gun involved was yours, not Miss Avery's, as the defendant stated.
Yes, you can check it out if you like. It's registered in my name.
Why are you doing this to me?
Well, Raven had the gun out before Jinx even got upstairs. She didn't give the poor girl a chance. Raven Whitney shot Jinx Avery in cold blood.
That's not true. That is not the way it happened. That gun belongs to Jinx Avery.
Well, that can be easily determined, Mrs. Whitney.
Excuse me, Your Honor, but I believe that there is a statement in the complaint there.
There is there? Well, let me have a look. Indeed, the weapon in question is registered in the name of Lance Halliday.
Well, then you gave it to her.
Well, is that correct, Mr. Halliday?
Of course not. Why would I give my gun away?
You're lying again!
Oh, Raven, you know it's the truth. You went to my table, got out the gun, and said, if that woman comes up here, I'm going to kill her.
I can't believe I'm hearing this! This isn't a courtroom, this is a torture chamber!
Definitely are of order, Mrs. Whitney. Mr. Halliday, are you prepared to make a formal statement regarding these charges?
Yes, Your Honor. We can't let people get away with murder.
No, we cannot. You are free to step down, Mr. Halliday. As for you, Mrs. Whitney, I'm afraid I'm going to have to hand this case over to the district attorney for consideration by the grand jury. At which time, Mrs. Whitney, it will be decided whether or not you will be indicted. This court is adjourned.
All rise. You too, Mrs. Whitney.
You cannot hold me. I didn't do anything.
Yes, we can.
Oh, you can't hold me. Are you going to take me back to that cell?
Unless your lawyer gets you out on bail, yes, that's where we're taking you.
Where is my lawyer? Where is Cliff Nelson? I want my lawyer!
Okay, where is he?
He who?
Mike Carr, he who.
What makes you think that Mike Carr was here?
Because he called me from here about a half an hour ago. Is he out in the hallway?
Cliff, wait a second. Have you lost your mind or something? I haven't been 2 feet from this office in the last 3 hours, and Michael Carr has definitely not been here.
Mike wouldn't lie to me. He's the district attorney. District attorneys don't lie.
Oh, like George Washington.
George Washington wasn't district attorney. Michael called me. He said it was an emergency. It was urgent. He had to talk to me right away.
Maybe you heard him wrong. He was probably calling you from his own office.
Yeah, you're right. Of course. Hello, is Mike Carr there? This is Clifford Nelson. Tell him it's me. He'll pick up. He always does. Yes, I know. I'll wait. You were right. He's there.
Mm-hmm. See? You know, Cliff, maybe you should get your ears checked. And, get a haircut while you're at it.
Thanks, Mom. Oh, hello, Mike. This is Cliff Nelson. Did I misunderstand you?
About what, Cliff?
Oh, weren't we supposed to meet at my office?
Meet you? What for?
I don't know. You said it was an emergency. I'm waiting for you to tell me what the emergency was.
Cliff, I know you don't use illegal substances, so I can only assume there's been a misunderstanding.
Wait a minute, Mike. Didn't you come to my office and call me from here? You got the phone number from a tablet on my desk. Wait a minute. I don't write that number on any tablet. I haven't even been here since yesterday afternoon.
Cliff, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Of course. Well, Mike, didn't you call me? You said it was an emergency. It was a matter of life and death.
No, I did nothing of the kind. Cliff, do you have any friends who are practical jokers? Cliff, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. Look, I think this was a mistake, okay? I'll talk to you later. Bye.
What was that all about?
I don't know.
And where were you all morning anyway?
Oh, I was in court.
And I feel much better about her now.
If your appetite's returned, Mrs. Saxon, maybe I could fix you something to eat.
Oh, that would be very nice. Thank you.
It should only take me 15 minutes or so.
You're an unusually considerate person, Spencer. Do you know that?
I'm glad you think so, Mrs. Saxon.
Yes. I've often wondered about you. What is it that accounts for this unusual loyalty you show to your employers?
In my line of work, Mrs. Saxon, loyalty seems to me to be the most important service.
I see your point.
Spencer.
Oh, I knew it was you the minute the phone rang.
How is he?
We've got to do something about him, Spencer. We've got to talk to him seriously.
You've had all the opportunity to talk to him that you need. He's your boarder, Libby.
He sometimes acts as if I'm his jailer, and sometimes I wish I was.
What's he done now?
Oh, it's that blonde girl again. I've got to hang up. Well, where are you off to now?
Well, I'm going out.
That's obvious. Out where?
Libby, why is it that you feel that I have to answer to you for every step that I take? Is that your nursing instinct or what?
You were very grateful once for my nursing instinct, Sky.
Yes, that's right, in Switzerland. Then I was your patient, but I'm not a patient any longer.
I see.
Libby, if I have to account for every move that I make, I'll move out of here. There is a limit to gratitude, you know.
Well, where would you go?
Back to a hotel?
No one would take care of you there. Sky, why can't you believe that it's only your welfare that makes me ask these questions?
Libby, believe me, I am not going to do anything that is not in our interest.
You're going to see that girl again, is that it?
No, I'm not. Not tonight, anyway.
Well, that'll make a change.
Look, I've explained to you why Valerie is so important to me. I've got to get her to be on our side if I'm ever going to prove who I really am.
Is that the only reason?
Libby, she may know something. She may have some clue as to who he really was, where he came from. As near as I can figure it, she's the only one who knew both me and him, the imposter. Except for my Aunt Geraldine.
But you were only 10 years old when you last saw your aunt.
Well, I've got to go now.
Skylar, did you have an affair with that charming blonde child?
I don't see that matters.
It matters to me.
Libby, do you believe that because you cared for me, you own me?
Yes. I see now what you mean about gratitude having its limits.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Lord knows I should feel nothing but gratitude for both you and Spencer. You practically brought me back from the dead.
Then why have you stopped listening to us, Sky? Why have you stopped trusting us?
I haven't stopped trusting you. But you're going to have to realize that I am not either a child or a mental defective. You're going to have to learn to trust me. And I have to do what I believe is right.
And I did what I thought was right for you, Sky. If you only knew how much you owe me.
Cliff, what's the problem?
Nothing.
Oh, no, of course not. You're just sitting here pouting like a 5-year-old.
Judy, when I was in the 3rd grade, I think, I had these friends who had this idea for a wonderful practical joke. They thought it'd be very funny to pour syrup on somebody's gym shoes. So they got me to do the dirty work.
Naturally.
So I stuck into the cafeteria, and I got the pancake syrup, and I went into the locker room while everybody else was in class, and I went to the locker they told me, and I opened it up, got the shoes out, put the syrup in it, put the shoes back in, closed the door, and got out. It was very funny. Except they had pulled a switch on me, and I pour syrup on my own shoes.
And you've been brooding about this since the 3rd grade. Classic case of deep psychological trauma.
I don't mean the story.
That has been... Well, then what's the problem, Cliff, huh? Does it have something to do with that emergency phone call from my car? Maybe one of your friends is pulling your leg a little bit?
You know what? I'm hungry.
Wait a second. Don't change the subject. Now, did it have something to do with that phone call or not? And by the way, where were you all morning anyway, really? And don't tell me that you were in court, because I happen to know for a fact that you do not have a single court case on your agenda.
I do not have a single case on my agenda.
Well, then you'd better get out there and hustle your briefcase.
Look, Dee Dee, I am going downstairs to get a sandwich. I'm starving.
Obviously, you don't want to talk about it.
I'm going down to get a
Cliff,
sandwich.
wait a second. Ooh.
Well, just the man I want to see.
Oh, Calvin. Well, that's a switch. You usually want to see Dee Dee.
Yeah, well, how did everything go down at the police station? I mean, is this hearing all over with?
Well, it's probably over by now.
Well, come on. I want to hear everything from the beginning. I mean, how did Raven react when you told her it was a big joke?
I don't know.
He did tell her, didn't he? I mean, Smiley did promise to her.
I'm sure he told her, just that I wasn't there.
Well, why not?
Because I had to come back here to get a phone call from Mike Carr.
Oh. Well, I guess we'll hear Raven's reaction soon enough. I just hope Chief Mallory doesn't hear it.
Yeah. Look, I'll see you later, okay?
Yeah. Well, as long as I'm so close, might as well say hello.
Hi.
Hi. Just thought I'd drop in, see how you were doing.
Well, I'm doing fine, but I'm not too sure about Cliff.
Yeah, I just ran into him out in the hall.
Did he look peculiar to you?
Cliff always looks peculiar to me. I'm never sure if I'm going to see him in a 3-piece costume or a button-down chicken suit.
Oh, no. Wait a second. That happens to be my law partner you're talking about.
I'm sorry. Did I ever tell you how much I like to hear you laugh?
Yeah. So tell me, how was your day? Did you catch any bad guys?
A few, not to mention a few bad girls. I mean, see, one of the effects of liberation is more female arrests.
But haven't you noticed that all the best jobs in crime still go to men?
Yeah, like our pal Eddie Lorimer. I guess you've heard about him.
Well, I know that he's back in Monticello and that Damien went through a lot of trouble for nothing, but I don't know the whole story, actually.
Well, how would you like to hear it? Over a drink?
Your place or mine?
Oh, terrific. Listen, if you got something to finish up, I could wait for you.
No, as a matter of fact, I'm just about through here. But there is something that you could tell me.
Okay, what's that?
Why is everyone acting so peculiar lately? Including Mitzi and Cliff and even you.
Derek, good to see you out of the hospital.
Hello, Mike. It's good to be out.
What?
Oh, it's no business today. There's no crime to talk about. There's romance.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
I have come to give you an invitation to a wedding.
Wonderful. When's it gonna be?
It's tomorrow morning, so I hope you're not going to tell me that you've got to be in the judge's chambers or in Washington, D.C.
No, I don't have to be any of those places. I'm going to be wherever this wedding is taking place.
Well, you won't have to go far. It's going to be at City Hall.
Oh? I thought Jinx didn't like the idea of City Hall.
Yeah, no, she didn't want to get married at City Hall, but things are different now. Things are very different.
Well, how do you mean? Different. It's the same bride and groom, I trust.
Yeah, Mike, we're still the same happy couple. Tell me, is Nancy going to make it, do you think? Do you think she'll be able to come?
Oh, I'm sure she feels the same way I do. Only a war or an earthquake will keep us away. Derek, I think you know how happy we are that you and Jinx have reconciled, if that's the word.
Oh, Mike, there was never any quarrel. We never quarreled about anything.
Just as long as the wedding is on again. But it's a shame you're not physically 100%.
Oh, well, this is all right. But Jinx isn't really feeling too well. So tomorrow, if she seems to be a little tired or maybe she looks a little pale, don't say anything.
What's wrong with her?
It's recurrence of an old illness she had a year ago.
I see. Well, wouldn't it be wiser to postpone the wedding until she's feeling better?
When did wisdom ever have anything to do with weddings, Mike? You know that.
But a week or two shouldn't make any difference, and your arm might be out of a sling by then.
Getting married tomorrow morning at 11:30. That's definite.
Okay. Tomorrow at 11:30.
See you in church.
Derek, what's wrong?
Nothing, Mike.
Now look, I can tell when somebody's upset. What's wrong? Is it Jinx? How bad is this recurring illness?
She's dying, Mike. Jinx is gonna die. That's why we gotta get married tomorrow.
Good night, sweet prince. Enjoy your sandwich. Get in early tomorrow and hustle. Your partner.
Ninth Precinct, Sergeant O'Malley.
Sergeant, I'd like to report a dirty trick.
Cliff, is that you?
Yeah, I'd like to know who's the butt of this practical joke, Raven Whitney or me.
Oh, what are you talking about, Cliffy?
That phone call from the district attorney?
Oh, yeah, the phone call. Hey, too bad about that. You missed the best part, the punchline.
Yeah, that was your brother Smiley, wasn't it? How do you learn how to imitate Mike Carr's voice?
Hey, Cliff, you don't question genius. He wanted to try it out, that's all. He figured if he could fool you, he could fool anybody.
Well, he was good, all right. He was real good. You guys made me miss the best part of this whole scam. What happened?
Hey, listen, you were lucky you weren't there. If you had seen Raven's face when she heard the bad news...
You mean the good news?
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant, the good news. When she heard that was all a gag. I thought she was going to strangle all of us.
Wait a minute. Do you think she'll give us back the theater?
Well, I don't know, but I swore she could have screamed down the police house. But don't worry about it, Cliff. I'm sure she's not going to blow the whistle on us. She's got too much to lose.
We all have too much to lose. I hope you're right, Hector.
Hey, take my word for it, Cliffy. We won't hear a peep out of Mrs. Whitney.
Spencer, I still find it very odd that Mrs. Whitney would stay out all this time without giving me a call.
Mrs. Whitney is a very independent young woman.
That's the kindest word for it.
Excuse me.
Who is it, Spencer? Spencer?
Hello, Aunt Geraldine.